When we talk to people in India, especially the North Indians, one of the things that they always say is the fact that India was the greatest country in the world before the British came, and the British came and then they destroyed it. India became one of the poorest countries in the world, so backward, so uncivilized because of the British. I mean, how untrue that is, how stupid that is. There is no evidence to suggest that India was one of the greatest countries in the world. Of course, there must have been stories of rich people or rich kingdoms, but then the situation in India, the condition of people in India, the quality of life of Indians was very poor. For example, before the Britishers came, how many schools were there in India? How many hospitals were there in India? How many doctors? How many engineers? How many schools and colleges were there? How many scientists were there in India? So when we talk about, when we ask them these questions, they come out with a few names of Aryabhatta and Charaga and all the few names. We are not talking about the few exceptions. We are talking about the quality of life that the majority of the people of India led. It was very poor. India was so uncivilized that people were not even treated like human beings. For example, in India, Hinduism, in the world, for example, Hinduism is the only religion that institutionalized oppression of another in the name of religion. So mistreating somebody, not being equal, was considered a religious duty in India. And these are the same people who blame the British for everything. The British came, they opened schools, they opened the colleges, they gave us English education. We had doctors, engineers, politicians. Look at India. All that India has today is a contribution of the British. For example, the judicial system, the All India services, the IAS, IPS, the bureaucracy, the democracy, all these are given by the we got all this because the British came here. Had not the British come here, what would have been the condition of India? Have you ever thought of that? India would have been so uncivilized, so poor and so stupid, like it used to be. So, or for example, let us take the conditions that prevail in Indian cities. Go to any cities in India except South India, especially the North Indian cities. For example, you go to Delhi, you go to Patna, you go to Prayagraj, you go to all these North Indian cities, and it's a horrible experience, horrible, miserable. People spit everywhere. Is it because of the British? There is no cleanliness. Is it because of the British? The trains and buses don't run on time. Is it because of the British? You see the conditions of the government buildings, for example, government schools, government colleges. Go to any government office, you get a miserable, horrible, pathetic experience there. Is it all because of the British? So before you blame the British, you should understand whether it is because the British that the schools are not running properly, whether it is because the British that the hospitals are not running properly. Go to any government hospital in the northern city of India. It's horrible. I mean, you wouldn't go there a second time. You will feel like how a human being could treat another so miserably. Buildings are poor, it is not clean, doctors don't come on time, doctors don't listen to you. You try to talk to them, they won't listen to you. They will simply they write some medicines just like that. You won't feel like you visited a doctor. Or you go to the government schools in India. It is so pathetic. Pathetic. Buildings are pathetic. There are no activities conducted like sports, games, curricular, extracurricular, nothing. But all the time, or you look at the drainage system, for example. I mean, go to any of the North Indian cities and see the drainage system, the condition of the roads. So you can't build a proper drainage system, but you take pride in the fact that we were the greatest country before the British came. Man, if you are living a civilized life, if you're going to schools, if you're speaking in English, if there are doctors, scientists, engineers, if people are working abroad, it's all because of the British. So people take pride in the fact that India is the greatest country in the world, but at the same time, they're standing in queue in front of the US embassy, the UK embassy, the Australian embassy, the Canada embassy, the Canadian embassy. Why no one wants to go to the universities in India? You can never see an Indian saying, I want to study in a Hindu Banaras University, or I want to study in Allahabad University. They will say, I want to go to US, I want to go to the UK, I want to go to Canada, I want to go to Australia. And somebody goes from your house to these places, and the parents, the other family members are so proud. They go around saying, oh, my son is in the States, My son is in the USA. My son is in Canada. I mean, why are you not proud of the fact that you are living in India? It is hypocrisy personified is an Indian. So it is so horrible.